What is going on, everyone? It's Ultimate Spy 53 here, and welcome to another episode of Reviewed number 96. And today I am going to be reviewing Nausicaä of the Valley of the Wind. So this movie was actually fairly good. Now, I will say it isn't my favorite of the Studio Ghibli movies. Well, it's not technically a Studio Ghibli movie. It's in the family, but like it's not technically part of it. It's directed by the same man who is part of that studio, but it's not technically a Ghibli movie. But it's still a good movie, depending on how you look at it. I didn't personally find it my favorite out of all of them, just because of the weirdness of it and the setting and the kind of, I guess, the religious aspect of it. I don't know, it kind of felt like all, it did feel weird, but honestly I did like it. I did enjoy it for what it was, and I liked the voice acting, and that was the part about it that I really liked. It was the voice acting. It had, like, Shia LaBeouf in it, Patrick Stewart, Mark Hamill, who I didn't even realize was in the movie, Frank Welker, who played, Scooby. I think also, I think it might have just played Fred in Scooby-Doo, but yeah, it can have a lot of beautiful moments. It was a point in the movie that was confusing to me, but also I felt like it was there for a reason, and that was the point where Nausicaä, who's the main character, like every time, like some horrible thing happens, or she's being subdued by the tentacles of the Ohm, which are the creatures. Like this little girl's voice starts singing. Like this little girl starts singing. You can hear it, and it's like not really any specific melody. It's just like saying la 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 or whatever, or humming or whatever. It's honestly really pretty. Honestly, that's why I liked it so much. But it's a good movie and has some fantasy elements in it. It's a science fiction war. Kind of. It's a post-apocalyptic. I think this might be the first, at least in the Miyazaki movies. Maybe not, by Studio Ghibli. I mean, it's in the family, but it wasn't distributed by that. I don't think so, but it's a movie that's has its own little way of being weird. It's a whether it be the costume design. I was just kind of. It also was fast paced. It did felt like it was not going anywhere, but also it did eventually kind of beat up, and you didn't really know what was happening a lot. I mean, you got the idea of it, but it's like one of those things where you watch it and it's like, huh, I love the voice acting. I had Patrick Stewart, who was the Lord. Shia LaBeouf, I was very happy to see him in the role of Spill, I think his name is. Yeah, I think his name. Yeah. And there's a point in the movie where he meets Nausicaä, who's the princess of the Valley of the Wind, basically, and basically they go for this quicksand. They're in the toxic jungle because the world is overrun by this toxic jungle, and I think that these creatures, these giant creatures, are like attacking everything, and they're enraged or something. It's kind of complicated, but at the same time, it's really interesting. And just seeing, well, of course, when you find out that there's a part in the jungle that's actually not toxic, that's really interesting. But also, just seeing, the bravery that the princess is. She's brave. I mean, I feel like a lot of the movies from Miyazaki are a lot. A lot of the female characters in the movies are always these brave characters. Like the last time I did a Studio Ghibli movie, which was back in Druid number 86, that was for Spirited Away, and I can't remember the name of the girl, but she was this brave girl. Like she must have been 10, or maybe younger. I think she might have been 10. She's just so brave, and in this movie, Nausicaä, she's so young. She's such a brave character, and that's why I like her. And honestly, a lot when you look at the artwork the art design of these movies, especially, well, not in particular this movie, like all the movies that are from Studio Ghibli, they're always so artistic, and they get like a lot of details. Even though it's all. I mean, this movie was made back in 1984. Who knows how old Shia LaBeouf was? I don't even know when it. I don't know when he's born, but like he must have been at least a teenager by the time this movie came out. Because if it's the 80s, then that must have been if he was a teenager. Because he couldn't have been alive in the 80s. Because he's like what 30, 40. I don't know exactly how old he is, but I was surprised to even see him in the credits. Like I didn't even know he's in the movie. Like one of the things where it's like, oh my goodness, he's in the movie, cool. And then I saw people like Jodie Benson, Mark Hamill, like, oh my god, what the didn't expect that. But yeah, it has its own beauty in it. There's a lot of amazing things about it. Whether it be the way the Ohm are so kind and the way they lift Nausicaä up and like have this kid's voice singing. It's amazing. It's honestly amazing. It's an amazing movie, but it is not my favorite. So because of the story of it and the designs of some of the characters, like the people of the wind, they are designs like the way they wear these outfits. They're just so weird, and it's a mixture between science fiction, fantasy, and war. There's a lot of war going on. There's these planes. There's a lot of like World War I type of stuff with the outfits and stuff. There's all this thing. I mean, it's apocalypse, so it's like this tactical jungle where like no one's supposed to go in it because you could die or whatever. And then there's also the storyline where these creatures that are like, I think they're like they're thought to have been extinct or something like that. I don't remember exactly how it works, but there are these creatures that are actually quite terrifying when you think about it. Like these, they run at you and they're just, ugh. But yeah, I really I enjoyed it to an extent. It wasn't my favorite because of the weirdness of it and the design of it and the fact that I don't know. It just wasn't my favorite story. I wasn't a big fan of the story, but I did like the voice acting. I thought that Patrick Stewart, hearing his voice for the first time, because I went into this movie going blind. I've only seen this movie once. Although I don't really remember, I remember some of it. I just don't remember all of it. And I went going to this movie. I didn't even look at the cast listing. I'm like, ooh, and then I watched the first part of the movie, like the beginning, like, ooh, Patrick Stewart's in this, and there he is. I mean, he obviously must have been. It was '84, so it must have been his time on Star Trek. He probably must have been doing Star Trek at the same time as this, or something like that. But he plays this kind of father figure to main character Nausicaä, who is this princess. Well, when I mean princess, she's not really of royalty. She doesn't wear a dress. I mean, she wears some kind of dress, but it's like, I don't know. There's different, definitions of princess. But yeah, she's a princess who is she's the princess of the Valley of the Wind, and she's like this. She's a caretaker. She's really brave. She, managed to do things that not a whole lot of people would do at that age. She meets this man voiced by Shia LaBeouf, who actually does a really pretty good job with the role, and I thought it was amazing. I thought the movie, the artwork, the design of the movie, the music, all beautiful. I mean, every movie from Studio Ghibli, or distributed by, or whatever, in the family collection. It's not technically a movie from that studio, but it's from the collection. I actually looked it up. It's actually not actually made by Studio Ghibli. I think it was. I think it was like a collab with a different Japanese animator. So it was Miyazaki did a collab with another one. So technically it is Studio, because in the beginning of the movie we do see the Studio Ghibli intro, which is this bit literally the Spirit Rabbit Totoro, just like Studio Ghibli like that. And I will say I liked obviously I like Spirit way better, but this is still it's still an enjoyable movie. It's good. I really like it. I thought the concept of the story was, it was okay. I didn't enjoy it all that much. It was interesting. I mean, I just felt like it was fast paced. It had some interesting characters. It had a lot of like, well, it was mainly about the princess, because she's the main character of the story, and so she's like this brave character who's somewhat of a badass. She cares for a lot for the creatures. Her ability to calm things is amazing. Like the way she can calm the Ohm. You can see that the reason why they're like heading toward the city is because they're enraged, and that was really the interesting thing about the movie that I really found interesting. But overall, the characters in the story were really good. I thought the Patrick Stewart character was just like he's a badass. He's so cool, and like I said before, I definitely had that mixture of different genres. It had like war, science fiction. The fantasy vibe was there because of the fact that it felt because it's a better princess, and it has the costumes kind of felt like that. They kind of felt like a mix between a war film and a fantasy film, but also science fiction because of the Ohm and the warriors of war or whatever. I think the warriors of war that were long to be extinct, and they come back, or at least one of them comes back. They discover that there's one still living, and they use it or something. And it's really quite interesting the way they do it. But overall, I really like this movie because, well, I think I've named all the things I liked about it. Like the voice acting, I like the animation. I don't think I've mentioned that before, but the animation was wow. I always loved Studio Ghibli movies for the animation. I mean, this is I'm gonna say this for every movie of this studio that I review. Every movie from Studio Ghibli that I review, whether it be one by, that happens to be by a different studio, or like a different animator, but the same style, or whether it just be a movie from Studio Ghibli, I'm always gonna say the animation is amazing because it is. It's a gorgeous style of animation, very different from a normal like animated shows, or in this case called anime. I mean, it's overall the way they do it is quite interesting. Like the fact that I really like the fact that they pay attention to detail with the animation. It looks like it took forever. Like with animation from this complete with this studio, it looks like it took forever to do. It looks like they really took a lot of time because I've seen like a lot of the behind the scenes features for like certain movies. I don't know which ones I've made. I remember there was one where Miyazaki was angry with his animators for not getting things on time, whatever. That was like so. When you think about it, these movies take a lot of time. They're not just done in a year. They take like I think they take up to 5 years. Well, I don't know how long. I'm just putting a number right there, but they take a long time to make. Especially when all these are hand drawn, they take a long time, and that's the really interesting part about it is that when you see the movie for what it is, the 2 hour movies out there, it's just you can see it come together in this beautiful masterpiece. I mean, all the masterpieces. Some of them like Tales of Earthsea. I did not enjoy that one. It was just weird. It didn't really make sense at all. I think it was a bomb too. But yeah. I mean, honestly, I look at the animation for this movie. It is so amazing, and they have all these characters come together. That it's like this all these different genres. Not something you usually see in a movie where you have like what 4 different genres in one movie. That's insane. I think that's incredible. But I don't know. I think the voice acting was really good. I thought the character design, the animation, the design of the world itself. When you see a lot of because the camera will pan, or the camera, whatever you call the camera, like the art camera or whatever you call it. If you call it a animated movie like a Studio movie, I don't know what they would call camera, or whatever. But the thing that they show, I guess the camera, I don't know. When they show a lot of the visuals, like there was a point when they were in the toxic jungle, or at least the undercarriage where there's not toxic, where it's not like you can't die from it. There's a point where you look at it goes up, and it's so beautiful. It's gorgeous, and that's what I liked about it. That's why I found generally interesting about it, and just seeing Nausicaä be this brave character. I mean, I feel like a lot of their movies, whether it be a female character, they've always been brave. They've always been able to just do things that not a lot. But female characters, especially at that age, I mean, you do expect that just female characters in general will be brave, but like female characters at that age, just you wouldn't expect them to be that brave. But I mean, there were plenty of female characters. I mean, I'm talking about like the female characters that were like more important. Like there was another character that was like this woman who, I don't know, she was like the leader of this part of the war effort. I don't know exactly how it worked, but yeah, she was there. She was really interesting. I mean, also the fact with things like factions, it was like different parts of the world. I don't know exactly what the setting was, but it was post-apocalyptic and it was war-torn, and it was just a very interesting story. Not my favorite though. I would never consider this my favorite movie from that studio, or whatever we call it, collab. I don't know what you call it, but anyway. Point aside, very excellent movie. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but I still thought it was very good, and it told a very interesting story. You know, it has some scary moments, like all movies from that studio have some scary moments in it. It's very thrilling, you know. But anyway, I think that's all I can say about Nausicaä, the Valley of the Wind. It's a good movie, very enjoyable, but I will say the story, I thought it was okay. You know, I thought it's still a good movie. You know, regardless of what you know, what it is. It's still a very enjoyable movie. I enjoyed it. I think you should check it out. It's from the 80s. I only just seen it now. Well, I think I've seen it before, but it's one of those things where I haven't really gotten around to seeing it. You know, I've just been, I don't know. One thing I will say about the movie that I really liked, that I thought was a clever use of animation, was the glider that Nausicaä uses. That was incredible. That was great, because it's like fit for two or something. It's awesome. It kind of feels like, you know, Avatar or something, where it's just like, you know, a glider that she just happens to have. Not portable, like it's just overall, I like the animation style and the glider itself. That was a really cool aspect of that movie. But anyway, I think that's all I can say about the movie. And as for rating it, I would give it a 9 out of 10. It's a pretty good score, I think. I mean, it's considered one of the greatest movies, one of the greatest animated movies ever. I mean, I disagree with that, but there's a plenty of good qualities about the movie. I won't deny it. There's a lot of great things about it. But anyway, that does it for this review of Nausicaä, the Valley of the Wind. I'd recommend it totally. I really would recommend it. What I'm saying about it. This is just a review of it, so it's my opinion. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Reviewed. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button. I really do appreciate the support. And if you're new to this channel, subscribe for more episodes of this series and other series that I do, as well as other great content. And I'll be back next time with another episode. Alright? See ya.